Today, in this episode of A Day in the Life of an Art Teacher, I am actually here to talk to you all about how social media and Instagram can really benefit your art program. I have been using Instagram as an advocacy tool for the last almost decade now, and I cannot tell you how much it has really made me not only a better teacher, but I have been able to share the love and the passion that I have for my students and my profession with the entire community. This little app is kind of like professional development right in your hands, because you have the ability to essentially see into the window of any art teacher that shares their work. I am so excited today to share with you just some of the ways that I use Instagram, not only in my classroom, but also now in this new journey. I want to give you some tips and tricks and also let you know that boundaries are okay and actually preferred when it comes to social media. So I hope that you stick around because I have so much to share. So good morning. It is 6:30 in the morning. Regarding social media in the mornings, I absolutely want to check my phone first thing in the morning, like many of us do. I read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. He talks a lot about something called habit stacking. And so I noticed when I check my phone first thing in the morning, it kind of sets my day up to just, I'm like kind of in a funk, I'm kind of blah. So what I decided to do is implement this habit stacking. So what that is basically taking something that is desirable that you want to do, but first making yourself do something that is less desirable that you know you have to do. I try to do some kind of creative exercise, drawing, painting in the morning. It doesn't have to be very long, but basically if I want to check my phone or social media, I first need to make something before I can consume. So create before I consume. Typically how my morning goes is I will create for a while, and then usually around like 7:30 is about the time that I know my kids are gonna start waking up. So I know I need to either like wrap up what I'm painting, or then I go ahead and start getting myself ready. I start making lunches and kind of doing things for the kids to get going for the day. So by the time they wake up, we're kind of ready to go. So to make creating super accessible to myself in the morning, I basically will leave out my sketchbook, even just in this spot. And I pretty much keep all of my like quick go-to materials in a pencil or a marker bag. And I will try to leave this on the table the night before, kind of waiting for myself. So I think a lot of people get hung up on like getting materials out first thing. So when things are just kind of waiting for you, it makes it a lot easier. So regarding social media, what I will typically do is when I'm doing my painting or drawing or whatever, if I remember, because sometimes I get into a nice creative flow and I just totally forget to document anything, I do try to like document throughout the process. I try to kind of capture moments as I'm creating something, kind of thinking ahead to like, if I do want to share this on social media, do I have any documentation of it? Hey art teachers, my name is Kaitlyn Edington, and I am an art educator in the outskirts of Pittsburgh. I spent 15 years teaching elementary school students, and it was just the absolute best. I recently stepped away though from the classroom to have more time with my family and to be able to pursue other creative endeavors that I have always been dreaming of. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you are subscribed to The Art of Ed on YouTube, and be sure to like this video so that you see more like it. All right, let's get started. All right, so I just got to my office after I dropped my daughter off at preschool. So I am heading in to our little co-working space right now. Welcome to my little office / studio space that I share with my husband. When he's out of town, I often like to just leave all of my empty coffee mugs on his desk, bless his heart. But this is my new little happy space. So here is my desk when I come in. Oftentimes I just plop all my stuff right in this chair and then get myself all set up. Many of us, become art teachers. We are so excited and we're passionate about our students and the lessons and all these things. But then our professional lives circle so much around teaching art that we actually forget to create our own art, or maybe we even forget that at one point we were an artist. That's the whole reason we went into this field. I remember coming home at the end of a long work day and just falling on the couch, and my roommate was like, "Oh, you never paint?" And I remember saying to her, because I'm so tired and I'm so sick of talking about art. But then when I started actually getting back into the practice for myself and for my own mental health, I cannot explain to you how much that benefited me, not only for my own personal well-being and mental health, but the things I would make on my own as an artist would spill into having more ideas for my students and to create lessons that I was super excited about. Don't forget your why. And I don't mean your why of why you became a teacher. I mean, why did you become an art teacher? I have 2 apps that I recommend using. One is called Trello. And I use Trello as, I call it my brain, because if I have, a sudden inspiration or an idea of oh, this would be so fun to share, or let's say I read a quote that I absolutely love that maybe I would want to letter in Procreate. I'm notorious for taking millions of screenshots and losing them, or putting things in my notes and then having it be crazy. So Trello is an organizational app where you can kind of create these boards. So I have brain dump boards, I have workshop ideas, but one of these is just social media ideas. And on this, I have quotes that I have saved, I have real ideas, I have just things that I see that I'm inspired by and then I don't want to forget. I will just drop it into my Trello board, and then if I find myself kind of thinking oh, I haven't shared anything on Instagram in a while, I go back to this board and then I get re-inspired. So another app that I use that's not necessarily organizational, but it's a really good kind of app to have in your back pocket is an app called Canva. It is a super user-friendly way of having a graphic designer in your palm. There are tons of templates for everything from social media posts and stories to emails or banners or lessons, or just so many templates, and there's so many super cute designs. All right, so just because I don't allow myself to access social media during the work day doesn't mean that I don't use my phone as part of work, or just to kind of document things that I kind of think along the day that I'm oh, could somebody benefit from this? Could this help somebody? Could this be entertaining? Could this be inspiring? Could this teach somebody something? If I find myself doing those things already throughout the day, I just go ahead and grab my phone and I try to document it. Another thing that I like to do is one day a week, if I know I'll have a big block of time, I will try to batch some of the things that I hope to share out on social media. So what that means is I kind of plan on, let's say Wednesday mornings. That's the time that I know I'm going to document several things that I would like to teach, share, create, post, whatever. So I kind of film everything in one chunk of time. So a really great pro tip, if you would like to start filming more video, natural light is amazing, okay? It's all about the lighting. And actually, even though it's a very gray day here in Pittsburgh, it's perfect lighting for filming and documenting. This was a splurge. This is something new that I recently purchased. This is called a canvas lamp, and what it is a phone holder. It has a spring where you can place your phone inside. It has a light setting, so you can kind of, if I turn it around, so that is really helpful as well. But really, up until this year, I've always just used kind of one of these gooseneck phone holders. They have a clamp that you just hook to the bottom of your desk, and your phone or iPad can go on the top, and they work perfectly fine. Okay, so I currently have my phone in my hands-free holder here, which is great because as you can see, I can use my hands, I can get my kind of lighting. Okay, so I'm going to be working on a project that I started many years ago that is a collaboration between students and local animal shelters. So this is the project that I'm gonna work on completing, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it into my time-lapse mode so you can see how it's filmed. Be authentic, yet professional. When I started my kind of social media journey regarding sharing what I do in my classroom with the public, it started out as a main way for me to communicate with families. Really, it became like an advocacy tool. I can share in a moment the process, like all the hard work that my students have done building up to this amazing thing, like this final product that you see in an art show. You do not have to be everything to everyone, okay? And you're not going to be. What are the things that are most important to you that you think that other people would benefit from? But also remember, social media is not a diary, okay? It's not a place for you to vent and for you to let out all your frustrations, because this is a public platform and the internet is forever. So before I post anything, I kind of go through this list in my head of, can my students see it? Can my boss see it? Can my superintendent see it? And can my mom see it, or my grandma? You know, if those people, if you feel comfortable and confident about sharing something that those people can see, then absolutely go for it. I know social media has changed a lot since when I've started using it. My personal philosophy regarding social media is I would rather capture something beautiful that I see or that I've made or something that's inspiring instead of creating. And I know that's kind of what the social media world has turned into, is like content creators and creating content to put out there. But one of my core values just in general in life, and especially with social media, is to remain authentic. And so I personally do not live my life thinking, what am I gonna make? What am I gonna create to put out to my Instagram followers? The things that I share are usually things that I am doing or seeing or interacting with in my own real life. What do I do when I'm feeling discouraged? That could certainly mean a whole lot of things regarding this topic of social media, whether it is imposter syndrome or maybe falling into the competitive trap that you're not doing enough or that what you're doing isn't as good as somebody else's. There are a lot of drawbacks to social media, and I think that is important to mention in this. If you feel like you're getting caught up too much in the game and it's consuming too much of your time and it's making you feel badly about yourself, hit pause. Stop, put your phone down, remove the app or any app or anything that's making you feel badly, and recenter yourself to the things in your life that are the most important. Okay, so one of the biggest questions I get regarding social media is like, when the heck do you find the time to share on this app? And I get it, especially because there have been plenty of times where I don't have the time and then I ghost for a little bit. So it is sometimes really hard to, I don't want to say find the time, because you're never going to magically find time, but I guess what I want to say is like, how do you make the time? Now, what I do try to do is basically give myself like 30 minutes at the end of the workday. That is when I, either select the photos that I want to share, edit photos, write the caption, which can sometimes take no time and sometimes can take forever. If I'm making a reel, I try to do the editing in this window of time. And then what I do is I save everything to my drafts. Around like dinner time, evening, that is when I just will quickly jump on the app, share, and then put my phone away so I can be present with my family. All right, so I've been at my little studio here for a couple hours. I did a lot of filming. Right now I'm kind of in a spot where things are drying and I'm out of time because I have to go pick up my daughter from preschool anyway. But here's kind of a peek at some of the things that I worked on, and now I'm gonna go ahead and clean up. Something really important I wanted to mention is before you share anything to social media regarding an art account, definitely make sure you check with your district's social media policy. And if you're not sure, when in doubt, just don't show any students' faces or names. It's better to be safe than to be sorry later on. All right, so my kids are asleep, and this is about the time when I get out my phone again, and this is when I start to connect with my community. I will reply to DMs, I will reply to comments, I'll scroll and see what my community friends are doing. All right, friends, that is a wrap on today's episode of A Day in the Life of an Art Teacher regarding Instagram and social media. I hope that you were able to get a couple takeaways from today's episode. Don't forget, boundaries are super important when it comes to screen time and Instagram, so don't be afraid to set those. And I hope that you just, more importantly, have fun and that you feel empowered to share things that excite you, that inspire you, and things that you can share that will help and teach others. If you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to The Art of Education on YouTube and like this video if you'd like to see more like it. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.